So I want to show you today how I went from this to this in just about 10 minutes. Now, it would take me about an hour to make a good rubric so my students would understand exactly what the assignment was looking for, how I'm going to grade them, and how they're going to perform to that excellent category on their assignment. I've got it down to a science, and I want to show you exactly how I do this. To show you my process, I've got my assignment to my left, I've got my co-pilot to my right, and I want to walk you through a conversation that I had to build that rubric that I showed you. First thing I did was go ahead and tell it what our roles are. That's how I like to start these conversations. I said today we're a team of English professors and instructional designers. Then I give it the task. We're creating a rubric for an assignment. And we're going to go ahead and do this in parts. First, we're going to go ahead and give you the assignment. Then you're going to create the 5 criteria for the rubric. Base these on base these on background, context, genres, samples, formatting, and length. So I went ahead and told it that. It fired back, hey, that sounds like an interesting project. Go ahead and give me the guidelines, which I did. And then it started to give us some performance levels for those criteria that we'd set out: the background, context, genre, samples, etc. Go ahead and read through these. I'm just going to focus right now on the background and context, and then went ahead and repeated this process over and over again for each of these. So the first one says, for my excellent category, this is the highest, provides thorough and detailed background of the organization, including location, type of work, number of employees, and it clearly explains the reason for choosing this. Now, you saw the rubric, and if you want to see it again, I can pull it up. What we had was a lot deeper in explanation, or it went deeper in explanation. It was a lot more robust than what we have in our first go round. So there's the example of that excellent category. I asked it to focus on one. So just focusing on that first criteria, provide more robust performance levels. And then went ahead and gave me this. So now instead of just one statement, it's providing 4 statements that show this is the excellent category, the good category, and so on and so forth. This is getting closer to where I was with the rubric that I've already got for the class. So I said, can you provide more robust description for this criteria? And I went ahead and fed back to what it had just given to me. And it went ahead and elaborated a little bit more. Then I said create. So you can see it's got some descriptors here, some subdescriptors for satisfactory. I wanted to get rid of those. I didn't want it in bullets. So here's my next prompt. Create each performance level as one item. So I went back to that. And then I asked it to condense each performance bullet level to one block of text. And you're starting to see to the point where I have where I wanted it on my rubric. So this is just one process. I then went ahead and edited these to the point where I liked them, adding that little human touch. And I went in and redid this for each of my levels and each of my criteria. After giving the AI a role, after telling it what task it's going to do, and after feeding it some information to help it do this task, and after some back and forth banter, some refining, and finally a little bit of editing on my part, this rubric took me, I think, about 15 minutes to complete. So I did say 10. This was a little bit more difficult of an assignment. Some of mine only have 2 criteria. Those go very quickly. I try and keep it no more than 6. Otherwise, I get overwhelmed, the students get overwhelmed, everybody gets overwhelmed. 5's a nice happy medium. And I like this. I'm very proud of this rubric, and I think I'm going to go build another one. So I hope you use this tool. There is a tool in Blackboard in Ultra. I have to warn you though, it can't have a back and forth conversation like you can with ChatGPT or Copilot like I used. You can only put one prompt in and it feeds you a rubric. You can refine that prompt again, but that back and forth just doesn't happen inside of the generative tool in Blackboard itself. Hope you enjoy this. Hope this speeds up your rubric making process, and then you can get to those important things like grading, creating lesson plans, and making amazing classes for our students.